Welcome aboard the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon podcast, where we're dedicated to helping first time and experienced boaters find the right boat at the best price and ensure all boaters have years and years of happy boating fun because life truly is better on a boat. Today's podcast is sponsored by the First Time Boat Buyers Academy, so you can find the perfect boat at the lowest possible price and buy with 100% confidence. For a short video, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/academy. I reference some graphs and charts in this podcast. You can visit the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon YouTube channel to view all of those resources.
Now, let's hop aboard and have some fun. Hey, welcome to the video, Buying a Boat versus Boat Clubs versus Boat Rentals. I'm your host, Captain Matt, and we'll be talking about the different options that you have to get involved in boating, the benefits of each, the negatives of each, in my opinion, and which one is right for different situations. If you're going back and forth, I'm going to share some thoughts with you that may help clear up and lead you in the right direction. So let's start with buying a boat. Now, this could be buying a new boat, a used boat, but where you actually own the boat itself. Here are the pros of buying a boat. Number one, it's yours. You can do whatever you want to. Put in a huge sound system, maintain it the way you want to maintain it, take care of it how you want to take care of it, add the accessories, add the graphics, add whatever options that you want to that boat, and it's yours to do what you want. You can use it anytime you want, which means that if you want to go out on Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you just hook up or go to the marina or wherever the boat is, get out of the water and go. If you want to stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning, you stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning. If you want to head out for fishing at 4 in the morning, you head out for fishing at 4 in the morning. It's yours to do whatever you want with it, how you want and where you want. If you want to put it on a trailer and you want to head 1,000 miles away and test some different areas, knock yourself out. If you want to use it for fishing and get it all dirty, hey, go ahead. That's fine. Do whatever you want with it. And the pride of ownership. If you want to say, this is my boat, I own a boat, I think there's a huge value to that in owning a boat. It's yours. You wash it, you wax it, you maintain it, you clean it, you put the cover on it, you do all of those things, and that comes through in that pride of ownership. You treat it how you want. If you want to just throw it away wet and not take care of it, fine. If you want to treat it like your baby and wash it and wax it 5 times a year, and you want to wipe it down every time you pull it out of the water, and you want to make sure nobody wears their shoes on your boat, then buying a boat is going to be probably a benefit. And finally, the resale value. When you're done using your boat, there's value left in it that you can sell. So you spend 10 grand on a used boat. After you use it for 5 years, you might be able to sell it for 5 grand. If you buy a $100,000 boat, you use it for 5 years, you might be able to sell it for 60 grand. What But there's a value left in it. So just because you pay $1 million for the boat doesn't mean it cost you $1 million. There's a resale value that you have on the end of it, although it does cost the upfront. The cons: there's ownership expense, there's maintenance, there's storage, there's insurance. There's all of those things that come with being an owner, having that pride of ownership and treating it how you want to. You've got to take care of everything and manage everything. You have just a single style of boat for a single use. So if you get a bass boat, you just have a bass boat. That's what you got. If you got a pontoon, that's what you have. You can't go and do different styles. You've got the single boat for whatever the use of that boat is. And you've got to clean it. You're the one that has to take care of it. You come back to the docks at the end of a long day. You've got to be the one responsible for cleaning it if that's how you want to treat your boat. So that's the ownership experience, okay? Now, joining a boat club. The pros of joining a boat club: A lot of boat clubs have multiple types of boats. So you may have pontoons and center consoles and a bow rider or a deck boat. You may have access to a towboat. You may even have a cruiser. Depending on the boat club, where you're at, the type of water you're in, the size of the club, you may have a big variety of boats to choose from, which can be a real pro if you're trying to figure out what style you like or if you like to do different things with different people. You may have access to multiple locations. So a boat club like Freedom Boat Club, which is by far the largest in the country, if you have a location, Freedom Boat Club in your area, when you join, you have the ability to go to any of the Freedom Boat Club franchises throughout the U.S. And they're looking to expand international. It opens up that opportunity if that's important to you, and your club has it. Not all of the boat clubs have multiple locations. Some of them do. No maintenance. So the boat club you join, it's kind of like a timeshare. You join, you go use the boat. They've got it all ready for you, gassed up and ready to go. You load your gear. They may even have a concierge service that they load your coolers for you, or they may even pack your coolers for you. You come back, you tie it up at the dock, and you leave, and they maintain it. They clean it. They refuel it. They take care of the winterizations and the oil change and the gear lube and the detailing, and they do all of that. It's super simple. It's very easy to use. To be a boat club member, they've designed it all around ease of use. You show up, you boat, you leave. They take care of everything else. Now, the cons with the boat club is there's no equity. So you join, you pay your sign up fee, you pay your monthly fee, and when you quit, you're done. There you don't get any, there's no equity built up. There typically is a sign up fee. It can be as much as 5 grand in some clubs. It's sometimes is negotiable, sometimes it's not. But depending on your club, there typically is going to be some type of sign up fee. Um, Use restriction. So most clubs are going to have a restriction of you can reserve the boat this many times at any one time. So you can have 2 reservations at any one time or 3 reservations at any one time. And typically the holidays, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, fill up very quick. So you may not have the opportunity to use it when you want it. Like if you own a boat, you use it whenever. You're the only one that's using it. In a boat club, the model is typically 7 or 8 members per boat. So if you've got 7 members per boat, um, it's likely there's going to be times when the boats are all filled up and you don't have access to it. They also typically will have restrictions on nighttime boating. So you can only boat to a certain time of day, and you can only go out a certain time in the morning, and that's when the reservations are. And they typically will split it up. There's a break at 2 o'clock. So you boat from 8 to 2 and from 2 to 8, something like that. Um, that restricts the times that you can use it because of that reservation system. The condition of the boats. Now, this could be a pro, it could be a con, depending on the particular club. They typically have newer boats. Every 2 to 3 years, they'll recycle their boats. The good ones do anyway. They'll upgrade their boats. They'll sell off the ones that they've used for 2 or 3 years, and they'll bring in a new one. Now, on the negative side, the condition is you have a bunch of people that are fairly new to boating, aren't don't boat a lot, and don't have the skills, and sometimes the boats can get banged up. They typically do a good job of maintaining them, but scratches and dings and different things like that will happen because you have so many people using them, and it's not like a boat where you use it just with your family. Every day that boat's going out, especially every weekend that boat's going out and being used. So it gets a lot more hours on it, gets a lot more wear and tear, and that can show up in the boat. So before you join a boat club, make sure you go and inspect their entire fleet, not just the ones that they show as their demos, but go look at the ones that you may get stuck with on a busy weekend if you still want a boat. What do those look like? Inconsiderate members in a boat club. There are times because of the way they do the reservation system that a boater may come back late for their reservation. So instead of coming back at 2 o'clock, they don't get back till 2:30 or 3. And now you're sitting there on the docks waiting, and they haven't come back yet. They don't treat the boats the way that they should be treated. They're spilling and scratching and doing things like that. And those inconsiderate members can cause a problem for the other members that are good. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you're responsible for your repairs. So if you're running the boat and you ding that prop, you're responsible for the whatever it costs to rebuild that prop. If you damage the boat in some way, you're responsible for those repair costs in most situations. Now, again, every club is a little bit different the way they manage these things, but in general, those are the pros and cons of boat clubs. Now, renting's another option to get involved. The pros of renting is you only pay when you use it. So you go out, you pay $600, $800 for the full day, and you go out and you use the boat. You boat 3 times a year. Hey, that's $1,800 or $2,400 or $3,000, whatever it is. Um, but that's all you pay. You only pay when you're out there using it. Multiple locations. You can typically find boat rentals on most larger bodies of water, and you can go and you can explore and you can travel to, different states and go all over the place. Just drive there, show up, find the boat rental, and you're out on the water. There's no maintenance at all. You show up, you pay your rental fee, you sign your forms, you maybe do a little training, and you're out on the water. No cleaning, similar to the boat club. You just show up, you use the boat, and you leave. It's very simple. It's very easy to do, other than you may have an orientation. If you're an experienced boater, that may be, a little bit of a spot of friction or annoyance, but overall, it's very easy to use. Now, the cons. The quality and types of boat. Typically, when you're renting a boat, they're going to be limited on the types. They're typically not going to be high horsepower. They're typically going to be, a lot of times they're going to have more wear and tear. They're going to be a little bit older. They're going to have more hours, because these are people that don't boat much at all for the most part. And so there's a lot more damage to the boats because of lack of skill. They certainly restrict holiday and night usage when you're renting. The boat rentals on 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day are going to go very quickly. And they typically will not allow night boating. Their insurance won't allow you to boat after dusk and before dawn. The conditions of the boat we talked about, typically rougher conditions, a lot of times older, inconsiderate renters, that just, they don't do the right things. And maybe you've got a rental and you're the second half of the rental for the day, and they come back and they've tore the boat up, and now it's not operational and there's no boat to go out. You're responsible for your repairs on a rental typically. If you do something that's deemed negligent, you could be responsible. And there's also a limited selection in the type of boats, which means that mostly they're going to be fishing boats and pontoon boats. In some places, you can still find a fiberglass deck boat or bow rider rental. You may be hard pressed to find a wakeboard rental. You'll probably be hard pressed to find a cruiser rental. So you're really limited in the style of boats. Maybe you can find a center console at the coast, but the styles of boats are going to be pretty limited. So let's look at who might want to consider each of these options. So if you're buying a boat, if you live on the water, I think buying is absolutely the way to go. You want to have access to that boat when you want it and how you want it. If you live on the water, you want to own your own boat in most cases. If you have a pride of ownership, if you really like to take care of your things and you like your things to be nice, owning your own boat is definitely the way to go. You'll be very disappointed, I think, in a boat club or renting. If you're handy, if you enjoy tinkering, if you like that aspect of it, there's a certain aspect of I like to mess around with my own boat, and that gives you a lot of joy. Even though you're not on the water, you're tinkering and you're doing different things to it, and you really like that. Owning your own boat's the way to go. If you know what you want, and you know exactly how you're going to use that boat, um, that's the right way to go, is owning a boat in a lot of situations, and the freedom to boat when and how you want. If you need that freedom, owning a boat is the right decision. Now, for a boat club, if you really like the idea of walking on the docks, jumping on your boat, going out for the afternoon, coming back and jumping right back in your truck and heading home, that ease of ownership with the boat club is really hard to beat. If you want to try out different styles of boats, you're new to boating and you want to run a center console, and you want to run a pontoon, you want to run a deck boat, if you find a boat club that has those options, it can be a great opportunity. If you want to explore different locations, if you can find a boat club that has the different locations that you want to go, you do a lot of traveling, that's definitely an option. Again, with Freedom Boat Club being the one that has the most options to choose from. If you're going to rent, if you only do it a few times a year, one, two, maybe three times a year, hey, renting is going to be the most economical way. You don't have to worry about the fuss of everything else, the storage, the maintenance, the cost of the boat club. The rental is the way to go. If you want to explore different locations, you just want to show up at a lake and get the boat for the day. There's no boat clubs in your area. There's no boat clubs in where you travel. Typically, you can rent and have a good time. If you're not sure boating is right for you, hey, I don't know if I would use it enough. I don't know if the kids are going to enjoy it. I don't know if we'll enjoy it. Will I get seasick? Go rent a boat for 3 or 4 times and see if you enjoy it. Figure out what you like, what you don't like. So that way, when you make the decision that you want to buy a boat or you want to join a boat club, you're more knowledgeable about what's right for you versus jumping in with that larger investment. You can sort of dip your foot in the water and test it out. And same thing, if you want to try some different styles of boats, as long as you can find them, renting is a great way to go.
Let's pull up the anchor and run this podcast back to the docks. We'll be back again with another helpful and fun episode next time. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/guest, and I'll help offer insights into your boat research and shopping experience. Also, we'd appreciate it if you took just 2 minutes to rate and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. It helps others find us so we can help more boaters. By the way, if you want to ensure you find the perfect boat at the lowest possible price so you can buy with 100% confidence, visit boatbuyerssecretweapon.com/academy for a short video and all the details. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with a few first-time boating tips for when you own your new boat. Number 1, know your local boating laws, basic navigation rules, and how to operate your boat safely. It'll make boating even more fun for everyone. 2, be aware of your wake at all times and pay attention to no wake zones because you are responsible for your wake. When maneuvering at slow speeds, you can put out an enormous wake. If going slow, be courteous, save some fuel, and drop down to idle speed, just in forward gear to ensure there is no wake. This could save you an expensive ticket and will keep you from being that guy on your waterway. Number 3, boats do not have headlights. They have docking lights, specifically made for seeing in tight quarters and docking. Do not turn your docking lights on while cruising down the water. It can blind other boaters and is very dangerous, and again, could save you an expensive ticket. Number 4, follow the maintenance schedule for your boat. Change the oil, impeller, gear lube, winterize if you need to winterize in your area. Inspect your trailer tires, bearings, and grease the hubs if you're a trailer boater to ensure you don't experience expensive and unnecessary repairs that will impact your boating time. Number 5, always double check your plug is in, your battery is charged, and the fuel is full before heading out for a day on the water. It could just save your boating day. And if you're a trailer boater, I've got a few extra tips. Number 1, at the boat ramp, prepare your boat, your gear, and your guests in the staging area. Then, when you're ready, back down the ramp, unload the boat, head to the parking lot, and right back down to your boat to be fast and courteous to your fellow boaters and don't tie up that ramp unnecessarily. Next,
Use transom tie-down straps when trailing your boat. Very bad things can happen if you don't, and they do happen. 3, check everything in the boat is secure before heading down the road. Seat cushions, gear, keys, towels, even tubes and lily pads can get blown out when pulling your boat down the highway or interstate. And most important, have fun. Enjoy your boat and get on the water as much as possible, because life truly is better on a boat. Until next time, this is your friend in boating, Captain Matt.